What happens when a young gal gives birth at a certain little famous department store? You've got the film I'm about to review. Let's talk about Where the Heart Is. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and happy Mother's Day. Welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2000 romantic drama flick known as Where the Heart Is, released by Fox, directed by Matt Williams, starring Natalie Portman along with Ashley Judd, Stockard Channing, and Joan Cusack, plus a host of supporting roles as well. The screenplay was written by Lowell Gans and Babalu Mandel, based on the 1995 novel of the same name by Billy Letts. Anyway, the film follows 5 years in the life of Natalie Nation, a pregnant 17-year-old who is abandoned by her boyfriend at a Walmart in a small Oklahoma town. She secretly moves into the store, where she eventually gives birth to her baby, which attracts media attention. With the help of friends, she makes a new life for herself in the town. Okay, let's get into our story. Now, we start out with our main character, Natalie Nation, who is a 17-year-old and 7 months pregnant, along with her boyfriend, Willie Jack Pickens, and they're moving from Tennessee to California. However, Willie Jack abandons Natalie at the local Walmart in Sequoia, Oklahoma, once she uses the restroom and buys new shoes. And there she meets Thelma's sister husband, who presents her with a buckeye tree, and Moses Whitecotton, played by Keith David, a local photographer who advises her to give her baby a strong name, which we'll get to that in a moment. A sickly and homeless Natalie is forced to live in the Walmart undetected. So she also becomes acquainted with surly librarian Forney Hull, played by James Frayne, who cares for his alcoholic sister, Mary Elizabeth. During a thunderstorm, Natalie, alone at the Walmart, goes into labor, and Forney, who has followed Natalie to the Walmart, smashes through a window to help deliver the child. And soon, that's when a little bit of fun really begins. Well, apparently, Natalie instantly becomes a media darling, and while in the hospital, she's befriended by nurse Lexi Coop. And well, so she's kind of surprised with how Natalie gave her baby a strong name. She named it Americus. Yeah, really something. Much as, well, the youngins she has, because I read, according to this, if I remember, because it's been a long time since I last saw this movie, but I do have fond memories of it, though. She's got like 4 of them. Lexi has 4 kids with some pretty sweet names, too. Brownie, Baby Ruth, Cherry, Praline. Yeah. What will they think of next? I'm just blaming y'all, but that is pretty good, though, in ways. Anyway, let me see. What was I? Oh, yes. Natalie's estranged mother, Mama Lil, who is played by Sally Field, visits after seeing her daughter on television, but disappears with the money donated by well-wishers. And sister husband arrives and offers to take in Natalie and Americus. While Christmas tree shopping with Forney, Natalie is reminded that it is America's 5-month birthday. Realizing this, Natalie races to sister's house to find that Americus has been kidnapped. A couple from Mississippi who had previously written an ugly letter to Novalee saying that Americus was an abomination because she was born out of wedlock kidnapped her and left her at the church in the nativity scene. 3 years pass, and Novalee, with Moses' help, learns to be a photographer. After a spell in prison traveling to Nashville, Willie Jack becomes a one-hit wonder after a slow start with Be of a Heart, a song he wrote in jail. He teams with cranky music agent Ruth Myers, who gives him a makeover and the stage name Billy Shadow. When a tornado blows through Sequoia, sister husband is killed. In her memory, Novalee shoots a picture of Americus and the still standing Buckeye tree amidst the damage from the storm. After the funeral, Novalee finds out that she is the beneficiary of Sister's estate, totaling around $41,000. Novalee builds a new home for herself and Americus on Sister's land. Novalee arrives in Vegas to accept an award for a photo contest she has won, narrowly missing Willie Jack, who happens to be in the same hotel. Ruth later breaks into his hotel room to inform him that his old cellmate Tommy Reynolds is suing him, claiming that he, not Willie, wrote The Bee of a Heart, and Ruth drops him as a client. Upon our return to Sequoia, Novalee discovers Lexi has been attacked by a new love interest who molested her two eldest children, nearly beating her to death as she attempted to protect them. Lexi's injuries hinder her nursing job, and she and her children have to move in with Novalee and Americus. Lexi breaks down, feeling guilty and angry, tearfully regretting her choice in men. Forney's sister, Mary Elizabeth, later passes away. When Forney does not appear at the funeral, Novalee finds him in a hotel and comforts him. They act on the feelings they have denied for so long and spend the night together. Forney confesses his love for her, but Novalee confides in Lexi she has never considered herself good enough for Forney and is confused about her feelings for him. His continued feelings of unworthiness become overwhelming when he says that he intends to stay with her rather than resume his studies at Bowdoin College in Maine. Believing his life would be a dead end with her in Sequoia, Novalee struggles to lie to Forney, saying that she does not love him. Heartbroken and rejected by Novalee, Forney returns to college in Maine. Novalee learns that Lexi is seeing Ernie, an exterminator who does not possess the physical attributes that have in the past attracted her interest, but she falls in love with him after learning he gave his ex-wife his restored 1967 Chevy Camaro in exchange for custody of his stepdaughter, whom he adopted as his own. The couple marry, and Lexi tells Novalee that she's pregnant. Severely depressed at his ruined career following the lawsuit, Willie Jack becomes a depressed alcoholic while driving with a woman across country. He wanders off drunk and collapses on a railroad track where he is unable to move as a train approaches. Okay, now for the ending. You know the procedure like always. You have 5 seconds to stop this video, go to the description box below, and fast forward to the time below to avoid the ending spoilers. If you've seen the movie already, please continue on after the 5 seconds. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. On Americus' 5th birthday, Novalee picks up a newspaper and sees an article about Willie Jack having lost his legs some months before and recently being robbed of his wheelchair. Novalee visits him in the hospital and he confesses his whole life would have been different if he hadn't left her. She sees how Willie Jack is a changed man and is able to finally forgive and let go of him, but she warns him never to contact Americus. After driving Willie Jack home in Tennessee upon his release, Novalee realizes now her lies are similar mistakes with Forney. She continues to Maine to find Forney at Bowdoin. Nova Lee tells him she really does love him, and they return to Oklahoma and marry. And the final scene is of their wedding, which takes place in a, you guessed it, Walmart. End of story. So what did I think of Where the Heart Is? Well, I will tell you that I do have it on VO cassette, and I've watched it on HBO as well. I'm gonna say it's a pretty good movie. Now I can tell there are differences between the actual book and the film. I got to warn you, there's too many to mention. I completely do understand and what have you. This There was also a soundtrack to this released on RCA Records, which featured music done by Emmylou Harris, Lyle Lovett, John Hyatt, and even Martina McBride. Now, of course, there was also the song That's the Beat of a Heart, which was done by the Warren Brothers along with Sarah Evans, which was a minor hit. Well, maybe a factual minor hit, not a big hit though. Unfortunately, the film was heavily dissed and what have you. A lot of people, well, a lot of sites consensus states that the film's poor script and messy plot undermines the decent cast. Well, the story is, but don't take their word for it. That was 20 years ago. From what I've seen, the story's not too bad. I liked it in ways. But anyway, now I love Natalie Portman as Nova Lee and Ashley Judd as Lexi. Stockard Chan plays sister, and I will say that everybody else was pretty good. It was just so good. James Frain as Forney, very good. I want to say the cast is pretty good and what have you. I do say the story might could have used just a tad bit of spin and polish, but it's still in a way a reasonable one. But the film kind of was a slight disappointment at the box office as it only managed to bring in 8 million at its opening weekend, and the film went on to make 40 million worldwide, which included 33 million here in the US against its $15 million budget. Even so, with a good cast and a pretty good soundtrack, with music being done by Mason Daring, and while the story's mostly good and what have you, but that's just from my point of view, would I recommend Where the Heart Is? I'd say, yeah, sure, go ahead. I mean, only if you think this is a good movie, and if you like the performance, like, well, great actresses like Natalie Portman or Ashley Judd or whoever else, I'd still say give it a shot. I know it's been re-aired on CMT several times, but if it ever gets put on streaming, I would rather watch it on there because well, I do have VCR, but we haven't been able to get it going. I don't have it in my own room, but even so, Where the Heart is definitely good. A bit underrated though, but still a good movie though. So, what are your thoughts on Where the Heart Is? Please tell me in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel as well, be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of another guilty pleasure. Now, Where the Heart Is, since it got this is kind of a guilty pleasure, but my next review will be a real guilty pleasure of mine, Quest for Camelot. So thanks for watching, and if you like this, you may want to check out some of these other movies, but they may be more, oh, I don't know, family friendly and what have you. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of All Dogs Go to Heaven, great animated classic. The upper right-hand corner is my review of the original Benji from 1974, and the bottom left-hand corner is my recent review of For the Love of Benji. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya!